Welcome, everybody. Casting for Two, episode number 42. That's right, I'm rhyming. I can't really rhyme two with two. That actually doesn't work. Well, my bad. Anyway, I just want to thank you guys for checking out the episodes so far. Once again, I've had just a blast doing them. And, it's 42 episodes. It's still going. Almost getting to my year of doing the show, which is pretty freaking cool. Because, I didn't know I was going to be on a year, but who knows? But then again, something could happen and the show could not go on. So I'll toot the horn when the year comes. But anyway, it's not about me, okay? It's about my guest. I have a fellow actor, Mr. Ben Youcef, who is in a new movie called Into the Rough. It's with Tarja P. Henson, Michael Clark Duncan, one of his last roles. And he was just a delight to talk to. This is the longest episode I've ever talked to with one of these celebrities. Yeah, that's right. He's a really good guy, very positive, which I like. And altogether, he's just everybody needs somebody like him in his life, okay? In your life. That's what I mean. So if you don't have a friend like him, go find him, all right? But I'm tired of talking. I wanna listen to Ben. So let's all sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode with Ben Youcef. And so I guess Chris should start the music like right now, please. And thank you. Hello, Ben.
Hi, Chris. How you doing?
I'm doing good. And yourself?
Good. I'm here in Santa Monica. The weather is beautiful, so I can't complain.
Oh, right on. I recently moved to Chicago, so it's sunny.
Is it sunny over there too?
Yeah, it's as sunny as it gets. It's a little cloudy, but I see the sun comes out every once in a while.
Okay, are you getting used to it? I guess.
I am because I was born in Texas, grew up in Oregon, and I went back to Texas for a couple of years. So very much the dark, cloudy weather is my type of weather. I love the rain.
Yeah, it suits the mood. That's what I think.
Yeah, exactly. So, and people look at me crazy when I tell them, I just moved here from Texas. Why would you want to leave the heat? I go, well, because there's heat and then there's humidity. So.
Oh, that kills me. I know. Tell me about it. Well, I should see you in Saudi Arabia. I lived there as a kid. My father was a diplomat. Mm-hmm. We moved there when I was 7, and you will see the real heat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, that.
The whole time.
Yeah, no, whoever wants the heat can have the heat. I'll take, nice, cool weather any day. I'll take snow any day.
So you're like that kind of weather. To be honest with you, I like the Mediterranean weather. Mostly Santa Monica, it's good for me. It's 70 degrees, it's perfect weather. I don't want it to be too hot, too, sticky and all that. I lived in Austin, Texas, by the way, for about a year. Mm-hmm. I went to university there for about a year. I had a brother and sister who lived in Austin, and they still do. And I liked it. It was kind of nice place, and it's open, and it wasn't like cowboys all over the place.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's a very open city. But
right.
It got really hot in the summer. But then coming from, I lived in the Middle East for a while, so it doesn't get hotter than that, I gotta tell you.
Right. No. You basically win in the hot weatherness. I can't compete with the Middle East, no. And I'm not gonna. I would never.
Yeah, I hope not, because I think you're gonna melt. I gotta tell you, Chris.
Yeah, no. I think I would like maybe if I fly there, step off the plane, feel the heat, and then want to go back, get back on the plane. Let's go. Can't do the
Well,
heat.
we can get you a complimentary air conditioning, like the old days, like the Roman days. Instead of fans, we can have somebody carrying some air conditioning for you.
Okay. If I were to walk around and people were to walk around with big leaves just fanning me, I think I would be okay with that. I'm down with that. It might look bad, but still.
I think I look bad. I agree. That's actually fine.
I'm bringing jobs, okay? But no, I forgot what I was gonna say. I don't know. It probably wasn't that important. But oh yeah, Texas. On that whole cowboy notion, it's funny because whenever I travel or see friends in other places, and I tell them I came from Texas, their first thought is cowboys and all that, and 6-shooters, spurs on boots, and it's funny because it's not like that. I mean, if you go probably 40 minutes in any direction, from Austin, you probably would find, farm country and stuff like that. But it's very Austin especially is like a hip,
cool
hip town. Yeah, hip town, a bunch of hipsters, cool people wearing lots of flannel.
Yeah, that's it. Because I remember, I come from a big family, 5 brothers and 3 sisters, and I had a brother who was going to school, 2 brothers. One was going to UC Davis, and the other one was going to Sacramento. And when I was leaving California to go see my other brother in Austin, Texas, my third oldest, you were telling me, oh, by the way, it's going to be cowboys and this and that. And then I got there, and he wasn't. And it's surprising for me because when I tell, maybe now it's different. When I was a kid at the time, like this is, when I was 14. So when I was telling people 15, 16 years ago, even Americans thought it was a cowboy town.
Right.
Like they were telling me, by the way, it's going to be all cowboys and, like the Old West. But it wasn't. I was surprised how, I remember going to 6th Street, walking down there. The music was amazing. But obviously I can't get in because I was a kid. But I can hear it from outside when we walked around and stuff. It was really a wonderful place. I'm going to be honest with you. If the weather was better than California, if it wasn't humid, I think it's a wonderful place to live in. There's something about it. It's down to earth that I like a lot. It's just real people. There was something nice about that. To be surrounded with people who are like down to earth and cool at the same time.
Right. Right. No, I agree. Like I said, I came from Oregon, so Portland is very much, the Austin of Oregon, really. Similar people, the only difference is the weather. It's it rains. That's it.
Yeah, I heard about that. It's kind of like, I lived in London, so it's kind of like London. It rains all the time.
Okay, so where haven't you lived?
Well, my father is a diplomat, so you move around. I was born in Algiers, so when I was born 7 years, when I turned 7, we moved to the Middle East for a while, and then we went to London. My dad went to London, D.C., and my own went to Austin, Texas, New York, L.A.
Okay.
The place I would like to explore more, probably Asia, more. Probably that's the only place. But I've been all over Europe, Africa, the Middle East, and the United States, obviously.
Okay. And so when you're doing all these travels, traveling from place to place, where does the acting bug hit you?
Well, it started probably when I was a kid, fighting for attention. When you have 4 brothers and 3 sisters at the time, you have to find your place at home. It's not easy, but it was interesting. So you have to accommodate and you have to adjust to each brother or sister. That's part of acting, I guess. And also finding the attention, so your mom will pay attention to you, give you more food or something. And she did spoil me in that sense because I eat a lot. I gotta tell you, I'm lean and fit, but I eat like crazy. Even Michael Clark Duncan, God rest his soul, he was looking at me we were eating in the set from the Rough. Him and Henry Simmons, and they were looking at me, and you couldn't believe how much food I was eating. I would eat like 5, 6 plates. And I think this probably has to do with my childhood, because you have to fight since you have 5 brothers and 3 sisters you have to compete with. But yeah, basically, we lived all over, and it was a wonderful experience. And growing up with 40 different nationalities, that makes you also, and just try to understand other cultures. That's kind of part of, because acting sometimes is not just a performer like in a circus. Sometimes it's about being. So you wanna see what it's like to be in someone else's shoes. Mm. To sympathize with somebody, which I think is an old Greek word, means to suffer with somebody. Mm. So you understand other cultures, and I grew up with like 40 different cultures, lived in compounds together. So all these different diplomats and different nationalities. So there were about 12 kids from different nationalities I hang out with. And it's funny because you go from one house or one apartment to the next, and you see a complete different culture. You see a European culture, an African culture, or Asian culture, or even different religions in that sense. It was very, very interesting experience growing up, and it takes away all the prejudice. But until you get to college, and then move into America for college, and then you're forced kind of to put yourself in the box, because they can ask you that question, where are you from, what is your ethnicity? Mm-hmm. I said, I guess I'm African, but they said, no, but you don't look African. I remember I went to Santa Monica College, and they had a box you have to fill in, and I said, he said, what's ethnicity? I said, I'm African, because I'm Algerian, which is North Africa, mm-hmm. and my parents were both Africans, Berbers, which is the native people from North Africa, But I remember that. And then you have to deal with it as you get older. That's something that I kind of miss, and the innocence as a kid, that you don't deal with that, having to be in a box. Mm-hmm. Who are you exactly, or who you are. And that's the way it is the whole world. Even though in LA we have a very open-minded people, and we're very, but then you deal with it when you have to fill up applications or whatever. You have to specify where you're from or what ethnicity you're from,
Right. Yeah, no, it's kind of funny because, I mean, like I said, I grew up in Oregon, so I was surrounded by, pretty much, Irish people and German people and other white people, and I'm my nationality is Mexican, but I've never really ever felt Mexican. I've always, the most Mexican about me is just my last name.
Being, basically, that's what you feel like. You
right.
know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm in the same boat. That's the thing. I don't define myself by being one thing. I'm Algerian or Muslim or this or that. Or I feel more like I am, who I am, and I can relate to a man or even a woman in that sense, or a different religion. I find something in common with them more than my own sometimes. You know what I mean? Even because the part of America that I love is people are open and they leave you, nobody interfere with your life. Mm-hmm. I miss the family sense. I have to be honest with myself. It is true. You do miss that family ties that we have from back home. Mm-hmm. That's the part that I like. But at the same time, I like that people leave you alone here, and then you can figure out things for yourself. Nobody comes in and tells you what to do and not to do. Back home, that's the issue, that everybody's in your business, basically. Mm-hmm. So you get, but you get some from there, some from here, and you got to make your own heaven, I guess, somehow.
Yeah, no, definitely. You got to do what you got to do, basically.
Exactly.
And when you were going to school, was it for acting, or was it for something else?
No, originally I studied business.
Okay.
Because it's weird to tell my father, I want to be an actor, because we don't have actors in my family. Mm-hmm. We have think of them more normal people. Mm-hmm. And what I define by normal people don't have the disease. I call acting like a disease, like somebody is not an actor, I guess he doesn't have the disease. It's like a bug, as they say, the acting bug, and then you get it, and it's something that you want to do. But it started also because I do interfaith. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you're familiar with that. I do the call to prayer, perfected, and that's part of also being out there, connecting to somebody else. Like I said, it's not a performance like a circus. It's more like acting. For me, it's therapy part of it, because you deal with looking in the mirror and dealing with issues that people usually try to avoid in life. Mm-hmm. So that's what I enjoy about acting mostly. But I studied business originally, and then my minor major was acting, so I would study acting in the summertime. And then when we got to LA, I committed to it 100%.
Okay. So, I mean, it's kind of good getting, well, what kind of business was it?
It was just business management, basically.
Oh, okay. Because, I mean, that's what some people, I mean, some actors don't understand is that there's sure the art side of it, but then there's the business side, the paperwork side, you know, all those different sides to acting and film. And
yeah, you're right.
so at least you know you got some, like, even if you became an actor, you still have some of that, or you did become an actor, you still have some of that business sense, which is always nice to get.
Yeah. I mean, it's good also if you want to start a business. I mean, I'm thinking about it. Eventually, I will want to open some kind of business, whether it's a coffee shop or a gym, maybe a place for people to work out. Then I'll be able to use those skills and know how to do it, I guess.
Exactly. Your business complemented the acting and vice versa.
I hope so, Chris.
I think you should open up a coffee gym where it's Starbucks. It's your Starbucks, but you're working out and drinking at the same time.
Only in LA, I think you can do that for sure. Yeah.
Exactly. Somebody would go to it.
Yeah, in LA for sure you're gonna find people are gonna do it. Like me, because I love eating. You know, I like to enjoy life. So I don't like eating. To be honest with you, I like to eat healthy, but not like all that too much diet stuff. It's too much for me because it takes the taste away from me. So I like to drink my hot chocolate with milk, for example. So I can do that and some cream, and then jump in and start doing push-ups on the side. I can see that. That's a good idea to make up for it. Nobody will feel guilty about it.
Exactly. You can redefine hot yoga because not only will the room be hot, everybody have their hot coffee, hot chocolate, whatever.
I think this is a good idea. I've never heard it before, I got to tell you, but I think it's a really good idea.
You know what? I'm not a greedy person, so I'm just going to give you this idea. All I want is like a floor tile just to say my name, and that's it.
That will do.
You can write it in Sharpie if you want, okay?
No, because actually it's funny because that's what I hear from people all the time who eat, because I like to eat sweets once in a while, you know, sometimes more than once in a while. And people will say, if I eat this cake, I got to work out this amount of time. So it makes sense if you're at a coffee shop getting hot chocolate and some nice croissant or whatever, or some nice cake, and then you can jump right next to it. You can divide it in half, and then you start doing some push-ups or something, I guess.
You could call it. You could call it like work it off. That's what it'd be called.
I'm telling you, this is my work. I think we're joking about it, but LA, I wouldn't be surprised somebody will do something like that.
Yeah, no, seriously, yeah. You can have like, here's the coffee, and here's how much you would have to work it off.
This is funny.
See, there we go. All right.
So you give them the amount. I love this.
Yeah.
So basically, if you want to get this hot chocolate with this amount of milk and sugar or whatever, with this amount of cake, you require from you to do this amount of sit-ups and push-ups and whatever.
Boom.
So this is the deal.
Yeah.
That's actually, and then you have to be sure that will take care of all the whatever.
Exactly.
Calories you're getting from drinking that hot chocolate or eating a cake or something.
I'm telling you, this is my gift to you. Take this and run with it, okay? This is what I do.
We call the place Chris. We're going to call it after you, too.
If you want.
We're going to call it Chris Idea, or Chris. It's got to be Chris something. Or Crisscross.
Okay, Chris, I'm down for that then. Yes, Crisscross. I'm cool with that. And then you can play jump every hour. But yeah, no, I'm glad I'm recording this so that if this ever becomes a big business idea.
I'm not sure if I am, so. Because they're going to say, what the hell this guy Ben is talking about? He's losing it.
No, that's okay. I've already lost it, so you're the sane person.
Know thyself, huh?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm very interested in acting and actors and talking with actors and all that good stuff. What was the first project that you got onto?
I got. This is interesting. I auditioned for a TV show almost 10 years ago, and it was called Homeland Security. I ended up going through the process of auditioning. It was a series regular. So I auditioned, and thank God there was a wonderful casting director, Robert Ulrich, who vouched for me. And I think he had a couple guys in mind who were more experienced than me. He brought to the network. But he had my stuff with him, my pictures and everything. He showed it to the executives. And then he called me. I think I was in Venice auditioning for some commercial at the time. He said, you have to drive right away to the network, to test for the network. And I ended up getting the job.
Mm.
That was called Homeland Security. It ended up being, they didn't pick it up as a TV show, ended up being a movie of the week. And then I got over there in Munich with Steven Spielberg.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful experience to work with him. I mean, he was the ultimate, what I call a real confident person who has no insecurities, no issues, no attitude. He has nothing to prove. And it was easier working with Steven Spielberg in a movie than actually doing commercials in L.A.
Really?
It was just so open. It felt like, you're just hanging out with your dad or your uncle and you're just making movies. He lets you do anything.
Mm-hmm.
It was extremely, because he's very sure of himself, and that's the thing. And then on top of it, later, when we finished the movie, when we had the party, we sat together and we talked, and he knew that I was involved in a little bit in interfaith, and he actually got me to do more, because after that experience, I reached out to other communities in LA, different religions, and we came together, and we started to do interfaith. And basically what it is combines the Muslims and Jewish and the Christian religion, and we rotate. We'll do interfaith prayers together between a mosque and a synagogue and a church. And eventually we brought even more other faiths included Buddhism and other religions too. It was really an eye-opening, and that's what I got from Munich, mostly working with guys from different beliefs and getting close to the other cast members. That made me question what I believed, because to me, I live in Los Angeles, and you're familiar with it. Basically, I live in Wilshire, in Santa Monica, and I think of that as Islam, and Santa Monica Boulevard as Christianity, and Pico Boulevard as Judaism, and Montana as Buddhism. If you take any of those boulevards, any of those roads, will lead you to the ocean, which is God. Mm-hmm. The problem is we argue at 15th Street which way is the right way. But any of those roads will lead you to the ocean, which is God, and God is love. And, the truth that sets you free is love. And that's the thing about religion sometimes, when it's missing the love. Religion without love is horrible. And that's the thing. And I think the love is the thing that nobody ever talks about when you go to sermons. It's always about, being damned or being in the wrong side. And instead of talking about the love of a human being, loving the other human being, and being able to have compassion for other people. And that's the key. And that's the best thing that I got out of that experience, I think, from Munich, is to be open-minded. And it was ignited because of the conversation I had with Steven Spielberg for about an hour. We talked about all that, the youth in the Middle East and all of that. And then when I got back, I said, I want to get involved in doing something more than just acting. Mm-hmm. More grounded also, and not about me, and about giving to someone else.
Right, and that's why I gave you the idea of Crisscross. That's
the idea. So now I had 10 years of interfaith. Now I got the new thing, which is a coffee shop and nice cakes and patisserie. We can make it French even, with a nice sweets, and then half of it, and then if you eat this amount, you have to pay your dues before you leave our coffee shop by working out a certain amount of push-ups or whatever that you have to do.
There you go. I think
it's kind of like a sweet punishment. That's what we call it.
Okay, there we go. Yeah.
Chris's sweet punishment.
There we go. There we go. See, this is why we were destined to chat with each other.
So basically, you're like taxes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's death, taxes, and Chris. If you eat this amount, you're gonna have to work out this amount,
Right.
or otherwise you can't leave. And we'll have a big guy at the door, like a bouncer, making sure that nobody leaves without paying the dues by working out the amount they're supposed to.
There you go. There you go. You know what? That's like a reverse nightclub. Everybody's welcome, but then hang on, you can't leave just yet.
Exactly, and at least you can see people too, compared to a nightclub. It's all in the dark. At least you can see what you're getting into. So.
Exactly. There we go. All right. So basically, this is a great idea. So that's all I'm hearing.
It was a great idea, and you got the rights. So this is hopefully you got on record that you have the idea. So if anybody come up with it in the next few months or whatever, we can go after them. They have to give you at least they have to name it after you.
Right. Well, I'm telling you, I'm not a greedy person. Whatever you want to do, as long as people know that, hey, this idea came from a podcast, right? What? You can do whatever. You can call it whatever you want.
So basically, this is a public domain, basically, kind of like listening to Beethoven or playing, basically something. It's available to the public.
Exactly. But more for you.
It's part of your interfaith work. I guess that's how you do your interfaith work.
Exactly. There's my interfaith work is giving people great business ideas.
And having pleasure along with it.
Exactly. But I wanted to talk to you about two projects that you did. One of them you mentioned, From the Rough.
Yes, it's a wonderful. It's a true story, based on a true story about the first African American golf coach who coached this, group of kids who have a lot of baggage and who needed guidance in life. And actually, one of the players in the story ended up being the coach of Tiger Woods in real life. Her name is Katana Starks. It's a true story, and it was a wonderful experience. Also, shooting in New Orleans was beautiful. The food was wonderful. The people were nice, and it was in October, so the weather was perfect. It wasn't humid. It was just right. Working with Taraji, you can ask for a better actor to work with. She was so open-minded, and she treated me as an equal. And you just have to show up, know your lines, and she will do the rest. And just listen and say your lines, basically. And then working out, I used to work out in the morning with Michael Clark Duncan. He joined us at the end of the shoot the last 2 weeks, and I used to work out with him in the morning. He was really a wonderful human being. It was a great loss.
Yeah. And not only that, but great pipes.
Yeah.
But
he was wonderful. Just his voice, you can hear him from a mile away, and you know who's in the room. And he was a very humble person too. It was really a great time that I wish I'd known more. I wish I'd known him more. Besides working out at the gym.
Right.
But I at least had the honor to know him for that time.
Yeah, there you go. And another project I want to talk to you about, because I'm very interested in one day directing something. Whether it's I do a little bit of directing, but it's not on your scale at all. But you directed and wrote and acted in.
No. I didn't direct. I acted and co-wrote. Yeah, the movie called Algeria.
And produced.
You was a producer. It's
okay, that's it. Yeah.
It's my first experience ever to be behind in front of the camera. It was really makes it. I realize now how easy we have it as actors. It's a lot of responsibility. It's like having a baby almost, compared to babysitting your brother's kid, your nephew or niece. It was really, we started from the story all the way to pre-production, and then finding the actors, finding locations, and then post-production, bringing the guys who could play the music for the movie. So it was really an eye-opening experience to do it, to do all of those different hats. you have to put on between acting, writing, and also producing. It was it's very challenging experience, but it was wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Now I appreciate people behind camera a lot more than I've done before. I appreciate how much work you have to put in to get a movie going.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, and it's called The Algerian. What exactly is it about, and what made you want to do this project? Was it something that you had in your head, or?
Yeah, it's about a fish out of water, and it started with the idea was ignited based on the relationship that I had in LA with different friends and from different walks of life, and that's where the idea was started. But then, it's about a guy who comes from another country with not so honorable intentions, and then he established relationships with Americans that made him question the mission. And there's a surprise at the end that I can't say it, but you'll find out when you watch it. And that's where that's what the story is about. And it's also examining yourself and your humanity. It's about coexistence in a sense, and seeing other people. So it's kind of also, inspired by my life in LA in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then we developed it with the director, Giovanni Zocco, and he was very open and great, to work with. He let the actors bring their A game and improvise if they have to, change the lines, and that was wonderful, to make it their own and bring the essence to the story.
There you go. And I saw because I was just looking on IMDb. It's post production. Is it?
Yeah, it's completed actually.
Oh, okay.
And it's playing in festivals right now. We won a New Orleans festival for best audience choice award, and we just got accepted to New York. So we just started the festival circuit, basically, and we'll see how it goes. And that's because we don't have a distribution yet.
Mm-hmm.
And based on when you go to festivals, you're going to meet a lot of the buyers and distribution companies will be there, and then you will negotiate who's going to end up, representing the movie and putting it out there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're doing. We're at the stage of going through. The director just went to New York for the festival over there, so he's going to be there representing the movie, the festival. And then we got accepted in Montreal, I think, in Canada also.
Okay.
So we're gonna have to go through, this is all new for me, because I've done everything through the system, whether it was TV or movies. It was basically through the system, Hollywood system, which is the studio system. So whether it's the network, NBC, CBS, or through the studios like Paramount, Universal Studio, so it's a very different experience to do it this way. And you probably, Chris, hopefully when you get a chance to also do it, you'll see how it is. It's very taxing, but it's enjoyable. Like I said, it's like having a baby. I think that was the closest thing of having a baby, because you feel like you have to protect it, you have to work on it, you have to, take care of it. It's not just showing up and doing your lines and going home.
Right. No, and see, I don't know, something about film. I've just always loved the process, whether it's behind or in front of the camera. Just the fact that everyone is here. Everyone is here to make something, like some sort of piece of art. We're all banding together, and I think that's what I get a kick out of. How this guy's doing that. So,
sense of community. I'm interested, actually. Do you remember? I'm just interested since you mentioned that. Do you remember the moment or your favorite movie that comes to mind? Oh, you can pick 3 movies if you want. The movies that impact you, that made you want to do this. Interested in the process of it. Do you remember the moment or any movie that in the past that made you feel this way about the film?
For sure, I'd have to go. I mean, I have a couple more, but I mean, number one on my list would have to be Willy Wonka.
Oh wow, the original.
The original, yeah, not the depified version.
Yeah.
I something about that movie. I remember first watching it with my sister and my cousin, and just being blown away by it, and just this movie is so magical, and so that movie's always had an effect on me. Another one is Big.
Oh yeah, with Tom Hanks.
Yeah, yeah. It's that's one of my all-time favorite movies. Big. I'll watch that, any day. And
You know, funny. When I did music, Steven Spielberg's sister, she's the one who wrote it. She was there with us on the set, and she told me about it. It was interesting. I find out because I asked her, and she said, "Oh yeah, I wrote the movie Big."
no, oh,
Yeah, it was wonderful.
oh man.
What is your third choice?
I mean, see, my third choice that would be a hard one because it's got to be.
I mean, whatever comes to your mind right now, it must be something.
There's okay. So I'm gonna cheat a little bit, and I'm gonna say because I have a lot more movies, but I gotta say Back to the Future and Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I remember those as a kid too. Yeah,
So-
those are wonderful movies too. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Michael J. Fox was amazing in that too.
I just
Bill
and
Murray.
I don't know, something about those movies. Just I guess mainly also comedies. Just because I'm a huge fan of comedy, I love comedies, and I like making people laugh. So, and of course, Ghostbusters. You can't watch that movie and not either smile or having a bad day. It just cheers everyone right up.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I mean, all those movies you pick, there's a quality of innocence, I think, in all of them. From there's something almost childlike quality in common with all those three films that you pick. And I think for me, I can see for myself, it's something that it's important to me. By the way, it's always been something that I want to hold on to, to stay being that child, because there's a beauty to it, to be innocent, to just be, not have walls. And like even when you look at babies, the way they look at you, there's no filter, nothing. You can almost see through you.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing. There's no masks.
Right.
Maybe it has something to do with that. I'm not a therapist or anything, but I just think there's something to do with childlike quality, which we lose as we get older.
Right. No, and that makes sense because I mean those are the movies that really affected my childhood. I was watching the new RoboCop, and
Yeah, I haven't seen that. How was it? Was it good?
I enjoyed it. It's very different than the original, of course, but this one's more RoboCop versus the whole system, either government, powers that be, politics, stuff like that. So there's no real villain. But I started getting really emotional because I love the original RoboCop. I used to watch it when I was a kid, and I had no idea that movie was a rated R movie. But right when they do the opening title, RoboCop, they played the original music, and
for the new one, you mean?
Yeah, exactly. Even the new one, yeah.
Emotions and feelings.
I literally almost started crying because I was like, oh my god, that's how, and it was horrible, but it was awesome just because I was for that title sequence. I was brushed back to my childhood of watching RoboCop and just hearing the theme, and it was great.
It's interesting how the music touched directly to your heart.
Mm-hmm.
It's like so, like almost like a fast speeding car, like with less than 6 seconds that you will reach to your heart. Compared to acting, acting might take a little longer to start feeling emotions.
Mm-hmm.
The music has a quality to it that you will reach. It will be. It's like a Lamborghini or something. It will get to your heart within 6 seconds. You will be filled with emotions. It's interesting. I feel the same way about music sometimes. If it's music that reminds me of something in the past, you feel something right away. That's interesting. Were you with friends, or were you by yourself when you're watching it?
No, I was by myself. I don't think I could get through that. I wouldn't want my friends watching me for that particular couple of minutes, just from watching me freak out.
You could probably, pretend like it was there was onions in the floor or something.
Yeah. The theater's full of onions. No, you know what? They probably would see that and go, Chris is freaking out again. Oh, well. He must have heard the RoboCop theme somewhere.
That's funny.
What about...
It's funny how...
No, what? Sorry, no, you go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. I was just saying. I was just commenting on how interesting. It's weird how those things happen.
Yeah.
You don't know where it comes from, but when you travel it a lot of times, music or moments that, I had the feeling in my friend's wedding listening to a song, an old song. It got me really, like, I felt that way too, which is interesting. It's a song about a stranger in a strange land, but it was a song I think I used to listen to with my mom and my dad. So that kind of touched me. It's the same, something about music sometimes that really gets to you.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Like, because I'm a huge fan of music and movies, and like I love Inception. I thought it was a great movie, but right at the very end when they're playing, that whole montage when Leo's going home, that song gets me every freaking time.
Yeah, it's haunting.
Yeah.
You're right.
But what I want to, you asked me a question, which is great because nobody ever asks me questions. But I'm going to ask the same question back to you because I can. What were the movies that impacted you as a youth or wanted you to get into acting?
Yeah, because we lived in Arabia. So I grew up. I'm from Algeria, but we moved to Saudi Arabia when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
With my dad, and there's no movie theaters in Saudi Arabia. So when I visited the United States as a kid, visiting my brother at UC Davis, he was going to medical school at the time. I remember I went to the theater and I fell in love with movies. I watched, I think, was Few Good Men.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not supposed to because there was people looking at me, what are you doing here? And I don't know, and then from then on I got hooked, loving watching movies. But the movies that touched me the most, I guess Lawrence of Arabia was one I loved a lot. I love the movies you mentioned. As a kid, I remember watching those movies. And Lawrence of Arabia was one. The movie Heat, Robert De Niro, Al Pacino was wonderful. Michael Mann movie. Those are the movies that touched me. Even Jurassic Park. Those are the movies I liked as a kid for entertainment purposes. But movies made me want to act. And mostly Lawrence of Arabia, Heat, The Good and the Bad and Ugly. And I remember also as a kid, as you've seen sneaking out, my older brother had the movie he was watching, Texas Soul Massacre. I remember that was scary. It was somewhere. It was VHS, so I put it on, and to this day I still get scared from that movie because I watched it when I was a little kid, like maybe less than 12. And just knowing that it's a true story always haunted me. The idea of that a family would do something like that was scary for me. But mostly the performances that made me want to act. Going back to Robert De Niro, and then I start to look more at his work. And most actors probably will say Marlon Brando. As you become an actor, you watch the work and you get inspired. How real. It's like an open heart surgery when you watch The Waterfront, when he talks to, when he talks about his feelings and about what he wants to be in life. And when someone do that, it just shocks you how could someone touch you like that? Just watching him on the screen, it brings all these feelings. So I started watching Marlon Brando and Denzel Washington. I loved his work too, from Malcolm X to Training Day, and I always was inspired by his charisma and his power on the screen. And then as time goes, and then you start watching, more actors and foreign movies too sometimes. There's a movie called Cinema Paradiso, which is a wonderful Italian movie about the love of film. If you get a chance to watch it, you're going to love it.
Who directed that?
I can't remember. It's an Italian director. I can't remember his name. But he was nominated for the Oscar that year, and I think he should have won. And it's a wonderful movie. It's about the love of film in this old town in Italy. This is back in the days, around the war time, just before the war. And you see this little kid who fell in love with movies, and he was helping this old man who took him on as his son, and he taught him the love of movies. And it was funny because it was censored. So you will see this man used to cut all the scenes, the love kissing scenes from the movie because it was a very conservative Sicilian town. It's a beautiful movie about, in the end, I can't tell you the ending if you haven't seen it because I don't want to spoil it for you. It will get you emotional. That's a movie that made me cry. at the end. Watching as the kid grown as an older man, and he put all those movies together for him. The old man left it for him. Because he comes back to town, he passed away. And he put this nice movie for him to watch in the movie theater. This is all movie theater. At the time, there was no VCRs or whatever. You have to go to the movies to watch a movie. So it was a community experience for the town. It was different. Now, we can just watch wherever we want, our own time. Back then, the whole town comes together to watch a movie. So it was kind of like a religious experience, but it's movies,
Mm-hmm.
It's a different kind.
All right.
That's a movie that I think inspired me also to be an actor. If you get a chance to see it, you will love it.
I'm gonna write that down and make sure that I see it. I was to say we talked for a long time, Ben.
Yeah, I know. We talked about it, almost everything.
Yeah, we talked almost everything. We got some good business ideas out there that are gonna happen for sure, because it's gonna happen now. And
you're talking about Chris Cross. You're talking about, right?
Yeah, Chris Cross. But so for the people at home who would like to get to know you more online, where can you do that?
They can reach me. I have a website, benyoucef.com. You can reach me there, and I'll keep them updated with everything that I'm doing. It's www.benyoucef.com.
There you go. And everybody, go check that. Go check out the website. Go check out your new movie. Yep, Into the Rough.
Yeah, Into the Rough is playing in theaters, and Algerian is coming soon.
There you go. And everyone, look for it. Ben, a blast talking with you. I feel like you are on your way to becoming my new spirit animal. I feel it.
Thanks.
I feel it. Okay.
Thank you, Chris. You've been very generous and open, and thanks for sharing your stories too. I feel like I got something out of it instead of me talking just about me.
Well, see, this whole podcast is just a way for me to talk about myself, not the guests. So mission accomplished. No, I'm just kidding. But you go on and have yourself a good day. Enjoy the weather, and continue the success for you. Okay.
God willing, and keep sending me the good energy, man. Thanks for doing that.
Right.
Thanks for the wishes. That means a lot to me.
No problem. Best of luck, and you have yourself a good day, okay?
Thank you, sir. Have a beautiful day over there.
You too.
Take it easy. Bye.
Bye-bye. Hey guys, just a quick reminder, you can always catch up with these episodes on castingfor2.com. You can also follow me at Twitter @castingfor2 or send me an email at castingfor2@gmail.com.